Welcome, everyone, to this episode of Notes with Jack after a brief hiatus. This is episode 32. My name is Alan Fox, and I am here with a guy that just survived like 10 rounds with Floyd Mayweather. It looks like. I know what we're going to talk about, but why don't we go ahead and address this? Talk to us.
Well, I mean, a lot of people don't look at this, right? I mean, some people are just listening to us. Am I right? Because I know people who
So for those that
are running around.
For those that don't know, Jack has a bit of a black eye underneath his left eye.
You really should see this, folks. You really should. It's amazing. First of all, just may I say, out of self-explanation, I woke up 2 days ago after a perfectly ordinary night with 4 very soft pillows on my bed, and here was this shiner that is quite dramatic, right, Alan?
Yeah. I mean, it's all right. Yeah,
it's all right. Anyway, the makeup wizard at Warner Brothers took it away, and so I did my job yesterday on the series with nobody new, but here I can't get rid of it. And I sent one to my doctor. I sent a picture to my doctor. He said it'll clear up. He didn't seem to be upset about it. It's very weird.
He had money on the other fighter. Go ahead. Anyways, I'm gonna say let's just jump into it because I just wanted to address that in case anyone's watching and they were worried. But you're doing okay. It's tough out there in Hollywood, man. It's a dog eat dog world.
Man,
sometimes things happen.
I'm a lot tougher than I thought I was.
Exactly. All right. Well then, man, you know what I realized we never talked about? I was going through your plays, and we have the director of the. I don't know how to get into it any other way. The director of the 2018 Lincoln Center production of Tom Stoppard's The Hard Problem. His name is Jack O'Brien. We've done one of the Stoppards. We've never done The Hard Problem. So I'd love to talk about The Hard Problem.
We did The Coast of Utopia, I think.
Yeah, and I think we did The Invention of Love as well.
Did we do Hapgood, which is the first show I did with Stoppard?
I don't think we've done Hapgood.
That's the first one I did of his.
Yeah.
Well, okay, it doesn't matter.
Let's talk about The Hard Problem, though.
It's painful, a little bit painful.
Okay.
This is the last play that Tom has written as of now. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he has been working on something to do with Oxford. He's so close-mouthed, and he won't tell me. But he's also not sure he's going to finish it. He's not sure that he should be finishing it. The name, do you know who Iris Murdoch was?
No.
Does that ring a bell with you? Well, she was a great English novelist of the 70s, 80s. She was an Oxford Don. She was married to another incredibly brilliant man who's, unfortunately, I'm going to blank on his name, but there was this wonderful photograph of the two of them in one of the magazines, and they were both in big baggy like raincoats, and they had like the satchels like scholars have, and they both had long scraggy hair. And I looked at them and I thought, this is a hard thing for me to say. Old people become a third sex. But you know what I mean? They don't look like. They don't look like men.
List of bumper stickers that should be Notes with Jack bumper stickers.
They don't look like men and they don't look like women. They do look like each other. And their bodies get sort of saggy, and there's not a lot. I mean, you lose an ass, you lose various things, or you have them removed sometimes. But suddenly there was this photograph of the two of them. And I think it may have been the New York Times Magazine. I can't remember. And they were both clearly in their 80s. There's a very, very wonderful movie called Iris that starred my friend Judi Dench. I like to say my friend Judi Dench.
Sure.
No,
Name
come
drop.
on.
Right. No, I get it.
if you can, you should,
Right.
because how
I
fair,
would.
and I don't think we're that close, really.
Right.
But we talk on
No.
the phone frequently, and
Yeah.
she's
Even I tell people my friend's friend, Judi Dench. So I use
yeah,
it like
yeah.
6 degrees of separation. I like to bring you in for that.
I love her. I'm so loving, and I will tell you the truth. We had a friend in common who was a dear friend of my late beloved colleague Richard Easton. Her name, she
Mm-hmm.
was an actress. Her name was Pinky Johnston, and he
Mm-hmm.
acted with her in his youth. He and Pinky and Judy were best friends, and she died. Oh, maybe 20 years ago. She had cancer and she died. She was lovely, a lovely, lovely woman. Not a big star, but really wonderful. And when Judy's husband, and some of our audience may know, she and her husband did a sitcom for years in England. And I think it's As Time Goes By, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's the title of it. It's just these two ordinary people, but they were so wonderful. And, you know, Judy's so magical anyway. It was like Seinfeld. It was like about nothing. Who cared?
Yeah.
Well, he died, and they loved each other. They were very, very close. A loving, and powerful relationship. Pinky, I was in London, and I called Pinky, and to say, can we have dinner? And she said yes. She said, I think I'll invite Judy. And I got wildly excited. And she said she hasn't been out since her husband died, and it's very difficult right now because she's a very social woman. She loves to go out, and yet she couldn't. And so we went to the Ivy, the wonderful restaurant in London that I happen to love, the Ivy.
Sure.
Because Noel Coward used to go there. And it's really evocative, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Pinky and I, I'll never forget this. Pinky and I were sitting in a booth, and Judy comes in, and all eyes in the restaurant, zong, went to her, and she was in a sort of off-white coat, and she had her hands in her purse in front of her, and she had lowered her eyes. She didn't look at anyone. She sort of floated through the room. Oh, it was so beautiful and tender, and London knew who that was, and London seemed to know she hadn't been out. And we became friends at that, and I made her laugh. She said,
Sure.
anybody can.
As you've been known to do.
No. Oh. Anybody can make her laugh. She's hilarious. She's sort of ribald. She likes a dirty joke.
I don't know what that word means.
Well,
okay.
Now you do.
Now I do.
It's a great word, isn't it? Ribald.
It's better than blue. It's better than being like she's got blue humor or whatever that phrase is. Like I like ribald.
Yes.
Ribald.
Let's bring it back.
All right, well, let's get back before we get too ribald. Why don't we get back on the hard problem?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Where was that going with all that? Anyway,
Iris Murdoch. There was something about a woman named Iris Murdoch.
There's a movie. If anybody's interested, there's a movie one of Judy's last movies, in which she played her. Iris Murdoch sadly died of Alzheimer's, and she was a monumental mind and a great novelist. And now that one knows that, you look at the late novels and you see the stylistic repetitions, and you begin to think, oh, that wasn't a choice. She was struggling at that time. Okay. So Tom was supposed to be writing a play about Iris Murdoch and the Dons in Oxford. Who knows? His plays are never about one thing anyway. It's not about, a murder or something. It's always about lots of different things. Yeah. So he did a play, and this is also not like Tom. It was the last play that Nicholas Heitner, who for many years was the wonderful artistic director at the National Theater, and he was a very close friend of Bob Crowley's and subsequently of mine. And he was the person who invited me in 2002 to come over and direct a John Guare play for him at the National in one of his first seasons. And so I was like one of the first Americans to direct over there, which was great. We did his Girl Friday, which John Guare adapted from the play, the front page, and the subsequent movie, His Girl Friday. He put them together, and it was a bit of a mess, but it was great fun. Tom's famous, as we know, for writing very long, very, very sort of abstruse plays. And this is 90 minutes with no intermission. And it was...
Was that a conscious choice, or was he... did you talk to him about that? Was that was something he wanted to do, or it just came out that way?
No, I don't know. We never did discuss it. But it's the last play that Nicholas Heitner directed in his multi-occupational... I mean, he did like 2 or 3 residences there. He was the artistic director for quite some time, and brilliant at it. Just brilliant at it. Are you freezing over there? Are we having trouble with you? I am. And suddenly I hear you. There you are again. We're having some problems. It's the hotel problem again, isn't it?
Don't worry about it. We'll keep going. It keeps coming back on. We'll just keep going.
So it's the last play of Nick's regime, and I'm wondering, was it the only play of Tom's that he did? It might have been. And Tom wrote it and gave it to him and the National. And he did it, and Crowley designed it. And I went to see it. And it was about consciousness. The hard problem is it God or is it not? How is it that we have consciousness of knowing that we're alive and we will die? And all of us know that about our time on Earth. And how do you deal with that problem? Because eventually you do deal with it. And you don't necessarily deal with it as much in your age as you do at mine. But, hello, it's right out there somewhere. So I think about it a lot. Anyway, that's what the play's about. It was well received, but it is not one of his great plays. It's not like it's not like any of the Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Yeah. It's not like Arcadia. It's not like any of the great Stoppardian themes.
Yeah. How do you approach working with, because he is such an intellectual writer, right? I've actually always been really curious about this with you and Stoppard. It's part of your sort of brilliance is you can do Hairspray and you can do The Coast of Utopia, right? It's 2 things on very different ends of the spectrum. He's such an intellectual writer. As a director, how do you approach it? What is your thought process going into something like that?
I think it's like
for The Hard Problem, for example.
I feel it's like you're holding on to a speedboat with your teeth. In other words, what are you talking about? It's Tom Stoppard. You hope you
no, but that's not a good enough answer. I don't want that today. There's a better answer in there, and I know there is because I know how smart you are. You're not holding on to it with your teeth. You may not always feel
sort of.
Okay, well all right. Well, you got your hand. You got your.
Excuse me. The first play, Hapgood, was about quantum physics.
Okay, well, you may not send a rocket to Mars. I agree.
And twinning. And Tom, here's the deal about me. I did this with Porgy and Bess, with black singers too. I say, I don't know. Help me. I don't get it.
Right.
I don't want to fuck this up. I don't want to offend you. But I'm having a bit of trouble here. I'm not quite sure. Can you help me here?
Yes, I do that.
And I did it with you.
No, I know. Well, I know that's true, right? What I'm saying is there's a way of approaching it with it, right? Because if you're directing it, right, there is something I would imagine. I mean, and maybe I'm way off base here, but I feel like I've talked to you enough at this point. It's like when Hapgood comes in, right, and you come in, yes, he's driving the boat. but there's a point of view that you have, his blind spot in some way. And I'm just curious, because we all have blind spots, right? Even the great Tom Stoppard.
Yeah.
What are you looking out, like, it's like there's a certain amount of, when I've talked to you about musicals, there's certain blind spots you're always looking for, right? It's like you've expressed that working on musicals. I'm curious with Stoppard, with someone like this that's so highly intellectual, like what are the ways, if someone's listening and they're working on a play like that, it's like, they may not be with Tom Stoppard, but they may be with a very opinionated playwright who thinks they're the smartest person in the room, which they may be, but they still need someone like you to help them bring it to life or bring it to its full prominence, if you will.
This is a really, God, this is a fun topic, Alan, and I'm having a bit of problem with it, which is understandable because in the instance, first of all, the idea of me being Tom Stoppard's American director, there's something sort of, about that, you think. It certainly is with me. But it made, but Alan, it made my career. It made me somebody I wouldn't have been if Andre Bishop and Stockard Channing hadn't contrived. And it's in the early books too, how we met each other and that I missed a couple opportunities and he felt wonderfully responsible and guilty and thought that he had treated me badly, which he hadn't. But I was given the assignment. Excuse me. It was just assumed that I could do it. Now, I don't think this was a conscious choice of mine at the beginning. Because the first one was Stockard, so we were very good friends. And she played an identical twin. She played, you didn't know that until you were deep into the play, but she played this woman named Hapgood, and then she played her sister, who was rather louche and sexy and sort of, a little bit sort of on the dark side. And she had a stunning transition in the middle of the play where she ended one scene, crossed the stage, and was the other woman. And you saw her do that. Talk about an acting exercise. And it was totally mental. She didn't do anything. She just became the other woman. So anyway, I'm thinking maybe because it was Susie Stockard, that we call her Susie, maybe it was because it was Stockard, that I was very concerned about taking care of her. Now, and now that I think about this, when I think about Tom's work, I think about carrying it comfortably to the company and saying, how do I make you real so that you can speak these things as if they're yours? And I've always said, and I've done like 5 of them now, I've always said I look for the sexual component. I look for love, romance, vulnerability, human things. That's what I do. Now, in the and I have the ability, in terms of our evolving friendship over the years, to say to him, as I've told you this, I don't understand that. Explain it to me.
Yeah.
I don't play games because if I don't understand it, how can I help you?
Yeah.
And I know you're going to say, what is this scene about? And I'm going to say, well, I don't know. Or I'm going to say, we're approaching it from this way. This is about
man. We're having so much lag. I'm sorry.
So I
may
have
still be talking right now as I say this.
And I think it came from the fact that my observations of Tom have influenced a lot of this, Alan. I found him seriously, and I'm speaking not to you as a gay man, but he is one of the maybe 3 or 4 most seductive human beings I have ever known. He was not into me at all by any stretch of the imagination, but because of his mysteriousness, his look, his voice, his education, his extraordinary energy,
Mm.
You just find yourself drawn into him.
Yeah.
He's catnip for women, has been all
Yeah.
his life. So, and even now, at our age, because he's a year older than I am, he's still
Yeah.
magically sexy and
Yeah.
wonderful. So you think, where's that on the page?
Yeah.
You know what
It's
I'm
funny,
saying?
man, but no, I know 100% because I'm remembering now when we talked about the invention of love, it was the same sort of thing. You were talking about in college, everybody's
Yes.
sexy.
Yes.
And so like it's interesting because it's a similar, and it's also, and I remember we won't get into it too much, but that was the same note about safe space. And I think like that, like
Yep.
that's the quality, I guess, that's the quality I was really looking for. It's like that blind spot of his is maybe in some ways whatever my sort of blind spot is in, you know, when I wrote safe space, which is like, where is the human dynamic connection, right? It's like we're not just people spouting ideas at each other, we're humans interacting, and that sexual tension, as you call it, that's where that blind spot is.
Don't you think if we're good friends, and like we are, and I
Yeah.
am with Marcia, and I am with Holland Taylor, and I am with Stockard, and I am with, you know, lots of people,
Yeah.
we help each other know that about each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
help each other in an odd way see what we communicate to each other, what the world is seeing in an odd way,
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
we don't see ourselves that way.
Yeah.
We only see what we think we're doing. We don't really see what they're seeing. They're
Yeah.
seeing something quite different.
Yeah.
You more than anybody. How many, well, really, how many persona have you occupied since you were a kid, starting with basketball? I mean, how many versions of you did you wake up with in the morning thinking, even when, even the days when you were on your most miserable, you know, who am I today? We've had this conversation. And I think good friends and collaborators, and certainly the value of art, is that we somehow help each other understand who we are.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's necessarily.
I think you lagged a little.
Like. Okay, anyway. This
play
it's in London was given.
Sorry, I can hear you talking. You.
Yeah, we're freezing. We're getting in and out.
Yeah, are we better now? I don't know. We'll keep.
You know, sometimes I hear it clear, and then like now it goes dead. I don't hear anything, and then usually you come back. You're still frozen, but I hear you. This is sad, but maybe we're fighting through something. Maybe it's noble. I don't know.
Maybe something.
The play was.
Yeah.
The play
I guess. I love what you said. What I heard you say, right? The little bit that I heard you say, I just want to reiterate. I love what you said about. I think the ability of a friend to be able to mirror your blind spots to you is really important. The trap is being a mirror that is funneling your, like, the gift would be if you have a bunch of different mirrors. The problem is if all those mirrors are giving you different blind spots, right? Like there's something about where you're giving your notes from, a place. Do you see what I mean? Where like that, I think, is the people that you really find, like let's say you with Stoppard, right? As smart as he was, if he was able to realize early on that your point of view on his blind spots made him a better writer, that's what he needed. And that's why you're the director for him, right? Because I think sometimes finding the people, like your point of view lined up with the blind spot he had. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I don't think Tom sees that.
You can't really hear me, can you?
Yeah, I can. I'm listening to you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't think he sees that? What do you think he sees?
I think he doesn't see that. I mean, I told you this when I did this elaborate opening to Coast of Utopia, this huge dumb show that I did to link the plays together so the audience could figure out who people were. And the second time I did it, he turned to me and said, "Are we doing this again?" And I said, Tom, I'm doing this for all three. It's the map, how people will know how to follow.
Right.
He was utterly baffled. And
but that's probably why but you directed 2 or 3 more plays for him. He did value it. He just didn't. He does know. He's too smart not to know it. Now, someone like, because here's another thing about, and again, I don't even know this guy hardly, but it's like this, someone at the echelon of someone like Tom Stoppard, they have to always, I think they have to always live in a certain space because that's their mystique. Do you know what I mean? Like, he has to be really like he's always him. But the fact he kept wanting you to do it again makes me think he valued everything you were doing. That's my thought.
Yes, but the other great directors have worked with him. Patrick Marber did the last play, Liebenstock, or whatever that was, the Jewish play. Trevor Nunn did Arcadia. He's had all these. I just happen to be, I think I am the only American in that crowd. But that's the panoply of the best directors that work. They've all worked. Nick Heitner. They've all had a shot at him. It's not like it's just me. But what I find is Tom, I think he knows that the audiences get something out of my vision that is somewhat helpful and unusual. And he's happy for it. He loves it. But he doesn't give a shit. Because as he said to me, he doesn't. I'm telling you, he doesn't. Because with this play, this play that was respectfully received, but not a hit, when it was given to me to do, I wanted to play with it. I wanted to open it up. I wanted to have an experience with the audience watching the company trying to figure it out, the hard problem. They as well as the characters.
Yeah.
And Tom, every time I tried to explain it to him, he said to me, why don't you just do the play? Just do the play. It's perfectly fine. And I thought, and then it ended up with the one single confrontation we've ever had, where I stopped explaining. And I had my time with the company, and we had a really good time. And he saw the final dress rehearsal before the audience for the first preview and went ballistic. He hated it so. And I had 10 minutes to figure out whether I was going to say, well, fuck you, I'm the director, I'm doing it this way. Or I'll pull all that out. And I did. And I never had the right to see what my version would have been like. We'll never know. I mean, it was more playful than Nick's anyway, because it was less pompous, it was less decorated. It was in Mitzi downstairs at Lincoln Center. It wasn't in the Beaumont upstairs, and in the National Theater it was in the Olivier, I think, or the Littleton. It was huge, beautiful production, very realistic. Mine was very abstract. He doesn't get it. He doesn't care. I don't mean he doesn't appreciate it. I don't mean that he's stupid. God knows he isn't. That is not what he's doing. He is linking words together in a way to solve the hard problem. And all he cares is that you take meticulous care of that. And he doesn't want you to fuck around at all. Why don't you just do the play? It's perfectly simple. Do the play. Interesting. I wrote about it in my last book, and I wrote a whole chapter, and I don't think he's read it. I was so upset because I did this book, and the last chapter is basically our relationship, and all of it, including this moment. And he read the chapter about Jerry Lewis, which he loved. He thought was hilarious. And I don't think he read any more of the book, because you know why? I don't think he wanted to. I don't think on some level Tom cares what I think about him. It's what he feels about me. Tom loves me. We're very close. I call every couple of weeks. I call and talk to him on a Sunday, and we have a lovely exchange. But I don't think he's curious as to what I think he doesn't. Isn't that interesting? I mean, I'd be obsessive saying, I wonder what he thinks of me. I remember Houseman saying, when a book comes out, the first thing you do is go to the index and see if you're listed in the back. Do you love that phrase?
Well, you didn't have an ego, huh?
No.
Yeah, it's really interesting, man, because here's what I'm always fascinated by, right? I'm fascinated by if this guy is as smart as you say he is, right? Which you swear up and down how smart he is.
Yeah,
He's got to have more What if he didn't read it because he doesn't want to know what you actually think about him because he knows he made a mistake at the end there?
Well, that's a possibility.
What if because here's what I don't understand. People that are really intelligent are hyper self-aware. I'm not saying people that are really successful, right? But if he is, I'm saying he can be a great playwright and not be as, but if he is as intelligent as you say he is, then he is self-aware. And if he is self-aware, then he knows that there have been moments where his dictatorial belief in whatever he wants has gotten the best of him. And he may be embarrassed about the way he treated you and may not really want to know. Or it may be easier to never have to address that. Because let me tell you, from a guy who lives behind his words as well, man, it's a lot easier to sit there and make other characters say things to each other to try and express yourself than it is actually have to go and confront people that you have been either hurt by or feel like you have done wrong.
Right. I understand.
That's why you write plays. Honestly, like if I hadn't done that, I don't think I'd be writing anything anyway. You know what I mean? Like if I didn't have all this stuff that I felt like I couldn't actually say out loud, I wouldn't be a writer. Why would I be a writer? Who cares? Oh yeah. And I know it's true. And I'm saying
Yeah. And I keep trying to add other dimensions to it. I want to know more. How do you feel about him? Right. How do you feel about her? And you're saying, that's not what I'm doing. Yeah. I was constantly trying to get a sexual component an active sexual component into space. Well, you didn't write that. You weren't that interesting. But I thought, wow, an older Jewish woman and a hot black man? Why is that not a chemistry for something really? Boy, that's got to be happening. They've got to be experiencing something there. We try to attract each other as human beings in any way we can. We throw the feathers out to suddenly say, please don't turn me off. Please see me one more time.
But I feel like I often said, I feel like when we had those conversations, I told you were right. I told you I didn't have the capability to do that yet. Do you know what I mean? Like all I was. Well, I told you that I agreed with you. I mean, I didn't know at the time. I didn't know I wasn't good enough to do that. But I'm saying, like, I remember agreeing with you because I was aware enough to see the blind spots you were pointing out.
Yeah,
I didn't know how to get there. That was the whole first few years of me writing. You know what I mean? It comes back to that thing I always say, which is like talent is mostly taste, and then it's just work to get to your taste level. Like,
do you think as an artist, I use the term not making a comment here, that the art helps you to is the art helping you define yourself? Might it not?
I don't think so. I don't feel like it belongs to me at all. The more I've done it, the more I feel like it's just this thing that moves through me. And I don't actually like I'm not even that. I'm saying I'm not that. I don't like you made that comment about. I had the most interesting thing pointed out to me, and maybe I should have told you this when I saw you in person. We'll just keep talking about it on the podcast for now. But man, I had somebody point something out to me. This girl, she was like, when you talk about yourself, you talk about your past and the different versions of yourself like they're different people.
Go on. What did she say?
She pointed out that when I talk about myself, when I talk about what I'm going through, when I talk about my past, when I talk about things that have happened to me, it all sounds like I'm talking about other people. She said, I've never heard someone do this before. It's like even if you are using the correct words, you're projecting the events outside of yourself. And I had this really interesting moment where I realized, well, the thing is, man, like sometimes I feel like with all the things, with the things that I've struggled with, like I can't keep them. They've got to be somebody else or I might not be able to deal with it. Do you know what I mean? Like the only way to keep going,
I'm in total denial. What are you talking about? I'm in total denial about who I am. You know that we
Right,
talked
but
about it.
yeah, but I guess what I'm saying is like that to me could be the way that art helps us process these things that happen to us in our lives. Because, if she's saying when I talk, I'm projecting it out, like this thing is happening to other people, or that I'm watching these things occur like there's someone different than me.
There's some
And
truth in that.
it's the same as when I sit here to start writing something, or perhaps when the right project finds you and you're directing it. It's like you're taking whatever's inside of you and projecting it out in front of you. And that's, I don't know, that's a really interesting, I guess I say that to say that, to answer your question about like, does I feel like the art helps define me? No, it's like I'm trying to get rid of it. I don't feel like I'm ever taking it on. I feel like I'm trying, it's the only way I know how to get rid of stuff. Like, I don't want it. You can have it.
I'm not sure I want to say this because it really sounds so self-serving. But one of the reasons I wanted to do the hard problem was I thought, and I can't believe I'm saying this, I thought I could help it. Very often in Tom's pieces, I felt diminished, that I was not getting all of it through because of my inferior intelligence, or that I don't quite understand that entire philosophic point of view. But if I rode him, if I stayed with him, if I supported him, and I added some color and some blood to it, that maybe that would help. In the case of The Hard Problem, a play that didn't really turn over, not in London and not in New York, even though he loves the play. And when he and his wife saw it, they said they loved this version the most. This version I took everything of myself out of in 10 minutes. But I thought, yeah, Tom, but I could have had a lot of fun here, and I think the audience would have had fun too, and I think they might have embraced it more.
Totally.
And I've never been able to say that to him.
Yeah.
And I don't want his judgment on it. It doesn't matter. It now doesn't matter. We went through it. We got through it.
Yeah.
But it was the only time I thought, you know what? I think I was right. I think I would love to have seen that. The company having fun, solving the problem. The company looking at each other, thinking, "What did just happen?" The way we do when we confront some of his harder, tougher things.
Yeah.
He didn't want that. He did not want that. It was very clear. He did not want my help. He did want my help, but the way he wanted it.
Yeah.
And guess what? It didn't affect our friendship, our love for each other, our respect for each other. I know that he's so happy when I call. I can tell that. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if...
yeah.
Go ahead.
No.
I'm thinking about the little bit that I know about the play. I'm thinking about consciousness. I'm thinking about all the things that the plays center around, because what an interesting experience to have. And I think that, I don't know. I'm just trying to see if I can draw any sort of connecting dots as I listen to it, because I think like it's hard, man. It's hard to work with people. It's hard to work with people that you're friends with. It just is. You know what I mean? It just is. And I think it's the best of times, and it can be tough.
But it's the only thing worthwhile ultimately. Because if you don't get closer doing it, you're not doing it right.
Yeah.
I mean, you have given me something tender of yourself that you seem to feel I can help manifest. Tom did too.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't mean that I was righter than he was, but we are comfortable in each other's presence, in each other's minds. He puts up with me and I put up with him, and we get somewhere. And I've done some of the most beautiful things I've ever done in my life. I've done in service to Tom Stoppard.
Yeah.
I mean, when I look back, the Crowleys in my production of The Invention of Love, holy shit, that was unbelievably beautiful. And you didn't see it, did you?
No, I didn't see it, but we've talked about it. I've looked at pictures. It's a really cool looking thing.
Oh,
yeah,
God,
yeah, it looks
gorgeous.
Beautiful. Yeah,
it really was. It was filled with theater magic and excitement and passion. And
did he like all those qualities in it? Like, did he ever talk about those qualities, or was he like, oh great, the words are here? Do you see what I mean?
Well, let me give you an example. The end of the first act of the end of the first act of The Invention of Love, it was the Richard Easton character, A. Houseman, lecturing in at the university, and he was talking about, I can't remember how this works, but he was in the grip of some phenomenal revelation, and which we used, Crowley and me, the Vitruvian Man, the beautiful illustration of Leonardo, of the man, the beautiful man, where his arms and legs are, and you are so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And so the day that we're showing him what we're doing with the production, the model and all this, what I loved about this is that image came up, and Richard was talking about it. And then that image turned into a film of Moses Jackson, his quote lover, the guy he was in love with, running toward the camera. And then that was then in blackout, and it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Now the night the New York Times came there, that didn't happen.
Huh.
The film didn't happen. I don't know why. So the New York Times gave it a great review, but never saw that fucking great moment. Yeah. So we're now explaining all of this, right, to Tom. We're now showing him the pictures and the models and how we're doing it. We get to this moment, and he blew up. And he said, you can't use that. And we said, why? And he said, it's a cliche. It's a cliche. And he stormed out of the basement of Lincoln Center. And Crowley and I, our jaws are hanging open. We thought, oh, now what are we going to do? Is there a better idea than Leonardo da Vinci? Maybe not. I don't know what we're going to do here. Right. So he's gone for a long time. And we're devastated because, first of all, we've disappointed our friend. We have we've stepped on some terrible thing, and we didn't realize it, right? And he comes back with a cigarette. Because he's smoking all the time. And he said, you can do it. You can do it. And we said, we can? He said, yes. It wasn't a cliche then. It wasn't a cliche then.
Dude, but here's what that is. Here's what, I don't care what you tell me it is.
It's the most wonderful thing. Wasn't it a wonderful story?
Yeah, it's a wonderful story. But here's the thing. That guy acted like a jerk. He overreacted. He was in over his head when he saw it. He didn't like it at first. He yelled at his friends. He realized he ran out of the building. He took a walk. He smoked a cigarette. He said, wait a minute, I'm Tom Stoppard. Let me straighten my jacket. He said, I'm also a jerk sometimes because I care so much about this play. Let me walk back in there and make this right with my snappy British wit, and it'll all be fine. And half the reason you forgive him is because he has a clever line when he walks back in.
Oh, I love you for that. It never occurred to me. I do.
That's why I'm here for your blind spots.
I'm sure you're right.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're right.
Dude,
I gave him all the credit, but you're absolutely right. He thought, I'm an asshole. I shouldn't do that.
Right. I'll probably never meet this guy, but let me tell you.
The irony is the New York Times didn't see it either, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
We all think.
All I know, man, is if he's as smart Hey, so if he's as smart as if he says he is, then he understands these things. It just sometimes our emotions get the best of us, and we have to react because we really care about our little stupid play.
What's also great is that great friendship, great collaborations, great loves between human beings inevitably bump up against something like that. Sooner or later, if we keep doing this, you're going to be screaming at me at one point saying, "Shut the fuck up."
Oh, man, listen, it's this, man. I think it's this. He sits there at his little stupid desk in his little countryside house and wherever he lives, and he has these high-minded, brilliant thoughts that he's just trying to bring to the world. And then he sits there and he watches it, and it doesn't matter if you or Leonardo da Vinci is the one directing it. It's not going to be what he has in his head. It's just not, because that's not how it works. And so what he does is he turns that anger on himself. And I'm not being presumptuous here. I'm just sort of relaying that from my perspective. That's what always happens. Any anger I have at other people is always misdirected anger at myself.
Oh,
because it's not what I wanted it to be.
I've seen it. I know you're right.
Yeah. And the crazy part, this is the answer to the hard problem. It's just another question. Why do we care so much? No one cares. Like, who cares about our little stupid plays other than us? So why do we get so angry, man? We're just in it, doing it with each other half the time.
Because I think, the hard play is about consciousness, living with consciousness. And what we're really doing from the moment we wake up to the moment we go to sleep is we're simply trying to figure it out. I think that's it. We're just trying to figure it out. And we're trying to figure out to what degree. I mean, if you confirm what I feel better about it, and vice versa. We've had a couple moments like that. Anyway, we both have. And I think basically we're all mystified. We all think we've got the wrong end of the stick. We all think we've missed the point.
Do you really feel that way? Do you really feel where you're sitting right now that you missed the point?
Very often, yes.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I am. I mean, I don't. I mean, here's the illusion. I keep thinking I'm getting closer to it. That I'm making more sense. That I'm clearer. That I'm trying to have a good end here. Do you know what I'm saying? A good end. I don't want to get angry or fuck up or become an alcoholic or a drug addict or do something awful.
You became a heroin addict at this age, man. That's a real third act twist.
I figured out I don't need any of that shit, but but I am trying to get clear. I know we've talked about this. I know it's stupid for me to say this, but it's like a game. The whole idea of living is like something out there understands that there's a board that we're on, and it's watching us little rats try to get through it. Oh, you fucked up. Oh, you fucked up the wrong way. Oh, look at you. You made it. Here's an acorn.
But okay, yeah. No, I do know, man. And here's what I'll say. As the guy who's in charge of your blind spots for at least this 45-minute conversation. Dude, I look at you and I envy it. Not because you're a, fabulous theater director, you've had all the success, or you survived whoever threw your right hook when you were asleep the other night. Like none of that. None of that, man. I think the reason I look to you is because of how excited you are about tomorrow.
Yeah, I am.
And if there's a way to do it, that's why I think more than anyone I've ever met, you got the point.
That's what I'm doing. That's what I think I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I think I'm doing. I don't have time to be despondent because I like solving the problem. When I was a kid, there was a game that my parents had that I had. It's a board against a board, and there's a ball bearing, and there's these little holes, and you have to move the ball bearing, you move the deck so that it doesn't drop into a hole. Yeah. And you have to go through this whole maze until you get to the end. I cannot tell you how satisfying that was to me.
Right.
And I think in an odd way, It's affected everything, because that's what I'm trying to do. Not drop into the hole and get to the fucking end, because I'm better than that. And if I'm not, what's it for?
What did Stoppard think? Did you ever have a conversation with him about what he thought the consciousness was, or the? No, not this conversation. I mean, did you ever have this conversation with Stoppard about consciousness?
I don't think so. I don't remember. I'll tell you what happened. There was a fork in the road, and we started out together, and Tom was in London, and he'd done the play. And I kept telling him what I had discovered. And he kept saying, "Why don't you just do the play? Why are you doing this? It's a very good play. Why don't you just do the play?" And then I stopped talking about it, because I wanted to go my own way. And then when he saw it, he hated it, and I ripped it all out. So it wasn't a happy ending. We who had conquered the other plays to beyond anything he'd experienced in London. I had much bigger hits over here with his plays than he got in London. He was respected, but he was loved here for what we did. Yeah. So in this case, we didn't talk about it because we came apart.
Yeah.
And he did not.
This is because right. I don't know. We'll leave that when we have him on the pod. We'll talk about it. No, I'm just kidding. Here's one thing I want to. I'm gonna say two. I'm trying to think because we've gone long. Let me just say this. The first thing I was gonna say is I wonder what I was thinking about. You know how you always talk about actors from Britain have a certain style because they grow up on an island, or there's certain cultural dimensions to them. I wonder if part of that cultural. I mean, but he's from. Where is he from again?
Oh my God, India, and before that, I think Romania or something. Oh no, Czechoslovakia. He's a Czech. Okay. He's a black Czech.
Right. He's Czechoslovakian. What I was wondering, I was just wondering if part of his resistance to some of your more abstractness of his work was cultural. You know what I mean? It's like if you think about sort of like the British version, like maybe all those versions were a bit more literal and whatever, and then you come to America, the land of hopes and dreams and manifest destiny, and suddenly it gets a bit more abstract and it gets a bit more ambitious and it gets a bit more theatrical. That sort of tracks with culturally the difference. I wonder if that's part of what his and maybe it's like what he needed. You know what I mean? It's like when you start to look at things that way.
I look at the work, Coots Macbeth or whatever that was, Fogg's Hamlet, the Dog's Hamlet. I mean, the early funny plays, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. I mean, he contains multitudes. He's got, The Real Thing. I mean, there's a huge, I don't see him.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't think so. Thanks anyway. Okay.
Yeah, I buy it. Nah, I'm just doing what I can, man. I'm just looking for blind spots. The other thing I was going to say wasn't going to be that important. It was more just like, I think what keeps me up awake at night is, you're playing the game. I want to know what's underneath the game. There's something behind the game.
Yes, me too.
And that's what I keep trying to get to.
Me too.
That's all I care about.
And what's behind the game? The other thing is, I'm convinced there is something. And that is what Tillett calls the will to believe. Tillett calls that the will to believe. Some people can, some people cannot. Some people find that intolerable. I find the lack of it intolerable. I love to know someone's out there laughing at me, rooting for me, hoping that I'll win, upset that I failed. I'm having a dialogue somehow, even though I'm alone.
Yeah. No, I get it. And what I admire is your willingness to play the game, even sensing that. Because I think me sensing that makes me say, I don't want to play your stupid game. Why don't you put the board down and talk to me like a man? That's what I say. I say, I don't want to run through your stupid maze. Why don't you come sit on the Notes with Jack podcast and talk to me about it? And I'll stop doing your little stupid game.
I think you have to earn it. I think you have to earn it.
Okay. All right. Well, look, you're in Hollywood. Man, this was fun though. I like this one. I don't know if anyone else will like this one, but I like this one.
Doesn't matter.
You're in Hollywood. No, I know. Well, you got one more day of shooting, and then so we'll talk about
two more days.
We'll
two more
two
days
more next week.
I shoot Monday, and then I have 2 lines on Tuesday, and then I'm on a plane out of here, and we can talk about it. I don't know that we can.
Yeah, then we'll talk about everything.
We can't talk about it till March, right? Until they see it.
Well, we'll do a debrief
talk about the
of
process.
what it was like.
We can certainly talk about the process.
Yeah, I think next episode, I wanted to wait till after you got through it all, and we'll talk next week. We'll talk about the process.
Okay.
When you're back in Connecticut.
Here's a revelation. Here's a revelation you'll like. Remember when I was acting with Christopher Walken in 1969? Remember that?
A lot happened in 1969.
And I know. Of course. And remember I said I was off stage not liking it ever? It was really, I stood in the wings and tried to remember my lines and was not happy. I'm still that guy. I'm still that.
I love it, man. I love that. And we will actually, knowing that, we'll dig into that a lot because I'm really curious about that. And isn't it interesting how you get another opportunity to decide if you're still that guy? You know what I mean? It's kind of cool that
Can you imagine?
Get this opportunity. Yeah, it's crazy. It's one big circle, man. It's crazy.
And I suddenly had the consciousness yesterday on the set.
Yeah.
Where have I felt this before? You know, I made them laugh so hard. I said, you know what acting is? I feel like I'm responsible for one tile in a mosaic, and I can't remember what the color is. They love that. Lisa loved that.
Dude, this guy, man.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Dude, you're the theater Leonardo da Vinci, man. We're gonna get a paint. That's brilliant. I love this. Oh man. Okay. All right. That's dude. That's all acting is. I'm just the guy responsible for one tile in a mosaic, and I can't remember the color. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. That should be inscribed on a theater wall. That should be inscribed at every acting school.
It surely should. It really should. That's it in a nutshell.
All right. That's it, man. All right, great. Well, listen, have fun in the sunshine in California. It's getting a little bit warmer today. And man, I guess we'll wrap up there. Thank you for taking the time. Thanks everyone for listening to this marathon episode. And we'll check back in next week. We love you, Jack. Thank you.
Love you, Alan.